Hi there, I'm Paul Skelton, I'm the editor at TELEMEDIA, and I'm joined by Victoria Sanchez from PSB Angels here in Dubai. Hi, thanks for joining us. Now, you don't really work in the value-added services industry, you're more involved in helping people set up businesses here in the Middle East, particularly in Dubai. What are some of the challenges of doing that people may not be aware of?
We are basically advocating that payments and banking affect every area of your organization. So you cannot longer just set up your business and then open a bank account and hope for the best and thinking that, whatever bank I pick wants to work with me, because tables have turned now. So what you need to consider is that how the payment is going to get from the customer's pocket to your company, from your company to your vendors, and through your payroll and whatnot, and what are the steps it does in between, and plan for everything. Because there are no longer the idea that accountants are dealing with anything which has numbers in it. It's no longer the case, because accountants are just not trained on even the basic banking or payment subjects, such as what is a wallet, what is open banking, what is SEPA, what is SWIFT, how the banks think, what is compliance, how payment affects the customer experience, for example, how do we integrate it to our CRM system. So a lot of decisions are made by accountants and financial professionals which are outside of their scope. So what I'm advocating for is that trust the professionals who can make those decisions, and don't think that your lawyer or accountant is capable to advise you on payment and banking subjects, because unfortunately they are.
So in that way you need an accountant obviously to keep your books, you need a lawyer because everyone needs a lawyer, but really what you're saying is you need a third person who understands, like say, SWIFT and sort of payment regimes like SEPA and all those sorts of things.
That's right.
To help you run with. What are some of the specifics about that kind of banking side of things here in Dubai that people might need to be aware of?
Now the problem starts when you have an international group of companies, right? And you have, let's say, a company in Singapore, a company in Dubai, a company in the UK, and you think that you're just opening different local banking rails for them and then just shift over the money. Now, unfortunately, it's not that easy. How much do they charge you? Do the banks trust each other enough to blindly accept the money? So, for example, someone wants to pay you from Dubai in your UK account. Will the UK bank accept it knowing that Dubai is very open for crypto payments, or there are still a lot of cash payments which are going on here, or knowing that the Dubai banks or any other bank which is outside of the EU is regulated different, not better, not worse, but different than the EU banks? So the problem starts when the bank starts to ask questions, right? And you need to provide documents, and you need to go through the headache of the questions and whatnot. Until then, your funds are still. How does it affect your operation? What can you do in case the bank, for example, shuts you down from one day to another, because they can without any kind of alert? How are you going to collect your customer funds? How does it affect your organization that all of a sudden no one can pay you? By the time you open a new bank account, by the time you figure out what's going on, that's all missed time and opportunity. So you need to plan for all of these, and you need to understand how banks think to avoid all the very common mistakes.
And you, of course, can help people do that.
Yeah, that's actually what we specialize at. So that's one thing that the tax advisor tells you, that great, optimize your taxes and go offshore. But it's a different question for a different professional to see that, okay, if I have an offshore company, do I have also banks or payment providers who are willing to work with me? If yes, what are the terms and conditions? What are the fees? And does it really fit in my organization in a way that I'm thinking that it's going to benefit me? So yes, get the right questions to the right professionals, and of course educate your team about these things, because these are changing on a daily basis.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for that. One last thing, how have you found our TELEMEDIA event?
It's fantastic. I'm coming back for the 4th year now in a row. I love it. I love the interesting conversations from the payment and banking perspective, obviously how mobile carriers are collecting funds, but also in a personal level. There are a lot of very experienced people that I would like to just hang out and hear all of those industry gossips and stories that you would otherwise not have access to. And yeah, it's a great, vibrant community, and I love every minute of it.
Here's to many more. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for explaining all that, and we'll see you soon.